What's up, guys? So I just got done streaming about 6 or 7 games with the new Kylian Mbappe and Showtime Leroy Sane. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on the cards, what builds I think you should use, and then what skills to put on them too. And in particular for Mbappe, is he worth the upgrade on the previous versions, namely the Showtime Phenomenal Finishing version, or even the free versions, because the free versions are actually still pretty good. So you can see here, Mbappe does have Blitz Curler. That seems to be everyone's favorite skill. But I would say for Mbappe, I don't really think it suits him that much. Like throughout the games, he did score, I think maybe 3 Blitz curlers from me over 7 games, which, that's actually a pretty good return. Because I don't think Blitz curler is an extremely effective skill. I think it's a skill that you can score a very broken goal with. But it suits players that are slower, I think, and a bit further away from the goal than a centre forward, like an AMF or a winger, and you want to slow down and hit the Blitz curler. It's very good. But someone for like Mbappe, his strengths, I don't think the Blitz curler is exactly suited to the type of player he is. But if you go into the build that I use, so this is what we had. You can see we have 85s and above in all the dribbling stats. Same with the finishing and curl. Pretty much actually every stat that matters. And then he does have the physical contact to 70 once you put the boost on. Which, he's got the stats everywhere you want them. So he is a pretty good card. If you want to optimize the build, I would put a +1 shooting on, because that means you can take a point off of finishing there, and you can put that elsewhere. Actually, if you take a point off, sorry, I had it mixed up there with Fantasista. Yeah, so I had Fantasista on in my head before, but you want the kick and power as well. Yeah, so you just take that point off shooting and put it into dribbling. Now you've got all 90s on the dribbling. If you don't want to do that though, you could get the aerial, but you're not going to get it up extremely high. You will get the 70 jump, which could be useful. So if you're a bit more of a physical player, go for that 70 jump. If you're a bit more of a dribbler, go for this one with the dribbling too. Yeah, throughout the clips, like, I felt like he wasn't that great. I did use another build with only 83 kick and power. That would have been like this, because I was using someone else's account, so that was the build kind of I inherited. And he did get caught one of the times by Araujo, and I was using sharp touches to get through as well. So I thought I shouldn't get caught, but I guess it was 91 speed, so it makes sense. So I definitely would recommend getting that speed up to the point that the kick and power is at 90, because it'll make his finishing a lot better. But boys, if I'm being honest, I really don't even think he was much of an upgrade on the free-to-play cards. Like, yeah, he was better at the Blitz curler, because the other ones don't have Blitz curler. And I think he was a little bit better at holding off the opponents, like with his physical and just kind of general dribbling. Like, if I got more games with him, maybe I would have loved him more. But honestly, I would just stick with the free version. If it's Mbappe that you're looking for, I would just stick with the free version. But a player that did, actually no, before we go on to Sané, just look at the old Showtime Mbappe. If you have this version, like, it's pretty much the same card, same finishing. Yeah, you lose a little bit of curl, but I think his curl will be fine. You've still got a lot of the kick and power. The dribbling isn't as high, but I think Mbappe is one of them players that even if you give him low dribbling, he'll still dribble well. I mean, he does have a good balance, so I guess it makes sense. Both have the same physical contact and then pretty much the same speed. So yeah, I think also phenomenal finishing I think works better on Mbappe because he's so fast. He'll go off balance. You can shoot it on either foot with the phenomenal finishing. I really, really don't think you should be upgrading from this PSG Showtime version. But as I was saying, Leroy Sané really impressed me. He was a cross specialist now, so he was staying out wide a little bit. So you do have to keep that in mind. I thought he was very good at cutting in with the scissors feint, and he could actually hit a power shot pretty well, and also the finesse shots very well. He has like those animations for finesse shots that only a few players have. The other examples would be like Dybala, Kubo, like they just kind of strike the ball a lot smoother. Yeah, this is the build I had on Sané, and if you want to improve it, I think Fantasista is just the best. You get the 90 finishing that way. You also get the 95 dribbling. It'll make him feel faster. And you don't absolutely need 95 dribbling. You could take a point off and put it elsewhere, maybe get the 80 low pass. But I think his passing stats are fine, and every other stat is fine where it is. But this guy really did impress me, and he has momentum dribbling as his skill, and I actually didn't really notice it as much, but I thought he was a good card to use overall. But for the skills, what skills would I recommend? So for Mbappe, I think one reason that maybe I didn't like him that much is because he didn't have any skills on him. Like, he didn't have fighting spirit, and I recommend fighting spirit on pretty much every Mbappe. I think it'll just help him hold off defenders that little bit more. Maybe if this one had fighting spirit, I would have been like, oh yeah, this is a clear upgrade. So definitely put that on. I think I was also missing cut behind and turn. Like, it's just a staple to the way I play. That definitely would have worked a lot better. I think ball roll is good in Mbappe, well. So that would mean putting soul control and flip flap on him combined with double touch. But if you don't want to go down that route, because that would be 5 skills there, you probably put on outside curler. He's got very high curl this version, so the outside curler would be effective on him. Probably a Marseille turn, particularly if you're going to play him on the left. I did play him left wing. I think if you want to use the blitz, definitely he is better at left wing, but I didn't think he was noticeably better left wing or centre forward. I thought he was relatively the same regardless. And if you did want to play him left wing, you'd probably go for pinpoint crossing as well to hit that kind of low driven cross. If your opponent knows you want to cut in and shoot with a blitz, you just go on the outside and hit that low cross in because it's very effective. And it'll keep your opponent guessing, all right, is he going to hit the blitz or is he going to cross? And another skill that this Mbappe doesn't have, but a lot of the other ones have, and I think it's actually very good in them, is rising shot. He's got the right stats, he's got the finishing, he's got kicking power. If you're true on goal and you just hit a stunning shot, rising shot, I think it's about 50 to 65% power. It's really good for kind of hitting the ball into the roof of the net. For Leroy Sané, I think his skills, he was missing flip flap. It would have made him a completely different player. I did like that he had soul control. I tried to set up a few knockoff finesses. I don't think I scored any off the top of my head, but I definitely felt like he was dangerous at them, and he could have definitely had potential to score a few. He doesn't have acrobatic finishing, so I'd give that to him. His balance isn't high enough to warrant not putting on, so I definitely would give him that. He doesn't have true passing, so I'd probably give him true passing. And then Marseille turn again. I really like Marseille turn on the wide players. Don't really like it on the central ones, but you can see here by his positions, he is mostly a wide player. Gamesmanship would be good. Gamesmanship, you don't really get penalties called for gamesmanship anymore. Jeez, I'm stuttering like mad, or mumbling rather. You don't really get penalties called for gamesmanship anymore. But you do get free kicks still. Because he's a cross specialist, he's going to be stuck out wide, not in the box. If you do get caught, you probably will get a free kick in a dangerous area out wide. And then I think cut behind and turn would do well for him too. I do notice I didn't actually recommend true passing on Mbappe. I think like you could have put it on for any of them skills I recommended really. But I think he is someone who's pretty kind of, once you give it to him, you can probably try work a goal. You don't need to be playing the pass as much. Like if he didn't have chop turn, like I wish that chop turn was, or captaincy or penalty specialist was something else, or kind of useless skills to be honest. Which is another downside to the card. Okay, so for the player that I didn't get to try is Barella, and I've used other versions of Barella in this game, and I love them. One of my favourite players. He's like a baby Mateus, but they are box-to-box players. This one isn't a box-to-box, it's a whole player. Now, he has phenomenal pass, and I've been saying over the last few weeks in a couple of videos, phenomenal pass is good on whole players and forward players because they are going forward, carrying their momentum. They go off balance. The phenomenal pass will kind of help mitigate the negative effects of being off balance. So that way it works. But I think ultimately the card would be better as a box-to-box. For the build, this is the build I've kind of settled on. And you can see for a whole player, it is like pretty defensive. But it's just the way he is. Like he has track back, he has interception. Kind of want to play into that strength. So I think he wouldn't be a terrible, if you play a DMF, CMF, and another CMF, he wouldn't be terrible as one of them players. And like an Iniesta role. He'd be able to go forward. He's got good kicking power and decent finishing, so he probably will be pretty reliable with the shots. Maybe not the finesse shots. Curl probably isn't high enough. I think he'll be an overall all-rounder. Like his dribbling will be very good. He's very short and he's got good balance and dribbling stats. I can see this guy being real fun to use. So if I was to put a booster on him, take off all the boosts here for a sec. You can't really touch the dribbling. You want to keep that tight possession at 85. Can't really touch the defensive stats either because you want to keep that engagement at 85. And you can't really touch all of the physical stats either because they're all at threshold. So I think the booster really doesn't matter. Maybe try get that ball control up to 90. Or I guess actually maybe it could do something to boost that. I think passing gives boost to curl as well. Yeah, maybe try get that curl to 80. Then you might be able to hit a few finesse shots and it gives a slight boost to the kick and power too. So I think maybe that's the best one, but ultimately it doesn't matter too much. I mean, I'm looking there, he has 89 aggression. You might want to give him something like a hard worker as well to get that up a little bit higher. Now for the skills, of course he has track back and interception as I mentioned, and he has one touch pass and true passing. So they're all the important ones for centre mids. He's got all his bases covered there. After that, I'd probably be giving him cut behind and turn, a double touch to help him beat the opponents going forward as well. I'd be giving him weighted pass just to help with that phenomenal pass. I used that on Bernardo Silva. He was pretty okay with phenomenal pass, but once I gave him weighted pass too, I thought he was a lot better. I think weighted pass works well, phenomenal pass. I'd be giving him fighting spirit just because he is a player that is a real workhorse, and I think you could get the full 90 minutes out of him. You give him the fighting spirit. It'll help with his kind of ability on the ball as well. He'll be able to hold off the opponents just that little bit better. Maybe a first time shot actually as well, because he's a whole player. He will be going forward. You need him to be able to navigate in those kind of deep areas of the pitch. And then if you want to improve his defensive ability a little bit more, I'd probably be going for man marking as well. Overall, I do think this pack is a skip. Mbappe is not a clear upgrade on the previous phenomenal finishing one, and even on the free-to-play cards, I didn't notice an immediate upgrade. Very expensive, kind of risk to take if he is worth the upgrade. Sane was surprisingly good. I'd say Barella is pretty impressive too, but I don't think it's worth the money, especially because they're not on permanent B form like Legends. Barella this week is on A form, but that's not going to happen. Actually, maybe with Inter it's going to happen a lot. But you know, during the summer it won't, because there won't be any games during the summer. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on the cards, if you went for them or if you're giving them a skip yourself.